representatives, candidates, including our commissioners as well.
That's right. And that's you bring up a great point. One of the cool things that we've done over the last year, we've been able to put together funds to help you guys, and we're very fortunate here in Douglas County to have all of our elected officials are Republicans.
Absolutely.
And one of our goals this year is not to help you with your campaign, but to help you help other seats that could be swing seats that we could gain.
Right.
And this all goes into that.
Well, and there's nothing more important than that, really, because as everyone knows, we're 12 Republicans, 18 Democrats in the Senate, 38, well, now 39, 37 Democrats now, 23 Republicans in the House, which is one of the reasons why they were able to pass the transportation package,
right?
Because they didn't need a Republican vote to do so because of the supermajority that the Democrats have in both chambers. And we have fantastic candidates that we've been working with both in the House and the Senate to bring balance and change back to the legislature, which is critically important.
Yeah, one of the neat things about what we're doing this week is part of legislative days, which we'll get into. But one of the neat things is it brings everybody back together in the building. So we're able to meet the new candidates. We've met a few. We've had some caucus meetings, and we've talked last night. We spoke in depth about which of the seats that we're going to go after hard. And a lot of people don't understand that there is a lot of strategy behind how money is spent to try to get candidates into seats. And first and foremost, obviously everybody has to be vetted, but you also have to make sure that the person that you're vetting to run for that seat is capable of winning that seat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where things get a little dicey sometimes, because some people think, well, I'm capable of winning that seat and I should win that seat. Well, one thing I learned when I was campaigning, I had my campaign manager, Trent and I managed my campaign, but we had an advisor from Salem, and he asked me one day, he says, well, what percentage of the people in Douglas County do you think actually know who you are? And, I said something like, I don't know, 60% or something like that. He says, no. He says, you're not even close. He said, I would be amazed if 10% of the people in Douglas County, which would be 1,000 people, right? 110,000, a little over 1,000 people. He said, I'd be amazed if 10% of people in Douglas County even know who you are. And, after working really hard on the campaign the first year, he was right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that number has expanded a little bit now, but it is a name recognition, and it also is what you've done for your community. I mean, people look at that. And by the way, I see a lot of people joining us. Thank you, Melissa. Good evening to you too. Lori, thank you for joining us as well. And Annette, thank you for joining us. Great supporters. Annette's always commenting, and we love all you guys. So thank you for joining us. So Trent, any other things going on that the public should be aware of with the Republican Party?
Well, right now we're just, helping you guys with the referendum petition collection, and it's going really well. Getting lots and lots of signatures. Myself personally, I'll be tomorrow night at Looking Glass Brewery and Thursday night from 4:00 on. If you want to come down and help our good friends Mark and Lydia Nunley have a beer and sign your name and help us get this done.
Yeah, fantastic. I know the Republican Party has really been the driving force behind this referendum, and we've literally only had this thing going now for about 4 days, I think,
since Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, since Thursday afternoon, and it has just been knocking it out of the ballpark. I've never seen a grassroots movement in Oregon take such momentum as I have with this. So
well, and it's because the Oregonians are upset, and it's a bipartisan movement. I mean,
absolutely.
There's Democrats, there's independents, non-affiliated voters that are signing the referendum because they're just done. They're done with the continued tax increases from the Democrat majority in this state, and they're over it. And so I'm grateful for all of the work of all the PCPs, all of the precinct captains, the captains that are taking on our communities, and just, over 50, well, as of yesterday, it was over 50,000 signatures statewide.
In 4 days, which is an amazing feat. Now we need 78,000 to qualify. We'll have to go way past that because there's a whole list of of reasons to disqualify pages, and the Secretary of State looks at all those and they take a sampling. So we're shooting for a goal of 100,000. We're about halfway to our goal now in the first week. I don't think we're going to turn the faucet off. We're going to keep right on rolling, and we'd like to see, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. We want 150. We want 180,000. We really think that the more people that sign this petition, the greater opportunity that we have not only to get it passed, but to push back against the majority party when it comes to the short session and shenanigans that they might try to play.
Yep.
Right.
Too big to fail.
Yep.
Exactly. And that's, and I got to tell you, I think if we collected 300,000 signatures, that's going to make a hell of a statement. We obviously don't need 300,000 to get the thing on the ballot, but we get 300,000 signatures, and somebody better be paying attention, because that's a lot of the voters in the state that matters. So I also want to dive deeper into this a little bit more. We'll talk about some numbers and talk about future sites and where you can sign up. But I wanted to real quick, I'm watching questions as they come in as well. Natasha says she has 3 complete sheets ready to turn in. Thank you, Natasha. That's 30 people. That's pretty awesome. I know a couple sheets just showed up in my office today too. So now it's my job to get some. I went to the Republican headquarters and I signed it. I don't know, 600 or 700 likes on that post that I posted. So that's pretty cool.
Well, and we had so we took a signature sheets to the Dorchester dinner last Friday with former Senator Bob Packwood, and got 2.5 of them signed there, including Jason Williams, the chief petitioner, who is.
Well, and since we're going ahead on this pathway, I understand Senator Meek's son signed the sheets as well.
I saw that on social media. I have not confirmed, but
well, I think it's true.
Yeah. So
there's been another benefit that we've been looking at too, is because this has been bipartisan and this has just come out of left field. As of this point right now, the Republicans look like we're outpacing everybody for new signups for our party. I know one of our guys this weekend signed in one day, signed up 6 new Republicans that switched parties.
That's fantastic.
That is fantastic. Well, I think David hit the nail on the head. The Oregonians are just done. They're done with being, beat up. And every day I have to listen to, somebody talk about how bad things are and how the cost of living's gone up and the cost of fuel's gone up. And the list goes on. This just piled on top of that. But more importantly, this is 38 years of Democrat Democrat governors that we're talking about here. This is not, not that the legislature doesn't have some, there's certainly some Republicans that would maybe been involved in some of the decisions that not everybody would think was great. But this has been a one-party rule state for a long, long time. So maybe Oregonians have finally had enough, and they want to change. So.
Well, and this has been, this rolled out literally on the heels of the federal Democrat shutdown, where all you heard from DC, even sadly from our delegation, was this is the Republican fault, which is just blatantly false. You had a situation where negotiations were occurring when it came to a budget. This was a Biden concurrent resolution, Biden era funding. It had nothing to do. The Democrats themselves, they tried to blame it on Obamacare and the COVID subsidies, which sunsetted from the Democrats' own position. They are the one that sunsetted it. And that was part of the conversation and the discussions at the end of the day. They and that are ongoing right now since you got the CR passed. But look, the misinformation that came from our Democrats, not just in DC, but also here in the state, was frankly appalling. And I am just so darn mad at our folks back in DC for just misrepresenting the facts to the public, and I think a lot of Oregonians were too. And government opened. People are signing petitions as fast as they can because they're just frustrated with government in general. And I think it's a reflection of they're frustrated with the majority of Democrats in this state.
Right.
Well, frankly, I had a person light me up online the other day with a post about how it's my fault that the government was shut down, and it's my fault that all this stuff's going on. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm not a federal rep.
No.
In fact, I'm just a lowly representative. I'm not even a senator. Isn't that the upper house?
No, it's the other chamber. Not
That's
the
right.
upper
Water
chamber.
drains that way.
That's right. That's right. When the toilet's flooded on the first floor.
But yeah, and that was over SNAP benefits and getting them cut. But frankly, that person, of course, thankfully, the person that was in charge of that site took that post down because it was just it got stupid. But frankly, I would have come out in favor of the government shutdown because I think it needed to happen. I think the Democrats needed to start paying attention to what was going on, and our federal delegation, like I said, in Washington has been just horrible.
I've never been more frustrated in my 23 years of public service with our federal delegation and what they did in the life of the American people. And I'll just end with this on this subject. What I fear, and these are just my thoughts, but what I fear is they shut the government down for the 45 days that they did, 43, 45.
40 more than that.
Days that they did, voted 15 times
Yeah.
against it, except for a handful of Democrats, Senate Democrats on the 15th vote, because they wanted to try, because they don't have anything anymore.
Right.
And they wanted to grind our economy and society and air traffic and everything to a halt because they don't have anything anymore. They wanted to, you saw the praise of, my goodness, look at the blue sweep with the election. My goodness, those were blue states.
Yeah,
there was no sweep.
They really didn't pick up much.
And that's why those what was it, seven other Democrats came over and said, you know what, or eight Democrats, because Paul voted against it, came over and said, we're done doing this to the American people. And I fear, the continuing resolution only goes to the end of January. So I'm very concerned that this is going to be another tactic because they don't get their way. And I want to remind our federal delegation and our Democrats in Oregon that they whine the same way when we deny quorum, when we do this here. And so you don't get to have it both ways. And your hypocrisy was in full display. And so let's move forward for our folks across our country, and frankly in Oregon, because we're just a few short months away, February 2nd, for the short session.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of work to do. Yeah,
and I think that a lot of it's Trump derangement syndrome.
It is. TDS is alive and well.
They just can't get past it. It's I don't recall these things happening when Biden was elected, and I certainly had strong feelings about that.
We didn't even do this when we were trying to stop Obamacare.
No.
When back in, what was it, 13?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even do this. It's just insane. And the cost of it. I mean, and frankly, the subsidies that they're talking about, is my understanding, is less than like 5% of what those rates are. You got the rates
right.
because of Obamacare, and you can see the graphs about all of that. And frankly, the Republican plan that I've been hearing, and this is all DC stuff, guys, so don't quote me on this, but is rather than the insurance companies getting the resources, the Republicans and the Trump administration want to give those resources directly to the American people, so that they can go ahead and actually have an open marketplace to be able to go and shop and get the insurance that they want for themselves and their family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and David, you hit it right on the head. As you guys know, I'm an insurance agent, so I wrote my graduation paper. I just started in the industry in 2010, and my graduation paper was on the ACA and why it wouldn't work. First bullet in my graduation paper was subsidies to anything never lowers the cost. It always increases cost over time because it does away with competition.
Yep.
Back then, there were hundreds of companies, including the company I work for, that sold health insurance. Yep. Today, that number is very small, and it's very hard for a company to expand into the health marketplace.
Yeah, for sure.
Right on.
Listen, we're coming up against our commercial break. I want to encourage, please, everybody to stay with us. We're going to take about 30 seconds here and go to a quick commercial break. And then we're going to read a couple other sponsor commercials here. David's going to read one tonight.
I'm going to try.
We got to pay our bills somehow.
I'm going to try, Becky.
Stand on the street corner ain't going to get it done.
No.
We have to pay our bills somehow.
We're not shooting this anyway.
So stay with us. We will be right back with On the Verge.
Is your 4x4 ready for the trail? Twin Peaks Off-Road is your first stop for maintenance, repairs, and custom upgrades. From differential services to winch installs, we do it all. Fast, reliable, and built for adventure. Don't wait for breakdowns in the backcountry. Call Twin Peaks Off-Road today at 541-900-0015 or visit twinpeaksoffroad.net. Keep your 4x4 off the roads and in the adventure.
Hey, welcome back to On the Verge. That was a fast 30 seconds.
It was.
It seemed like it went by faster than I could get another glass of iced tea, so I guess I'll just stick with one.
Oh, that's iced tea? Okay.
Yeah, it's iced tea for now. We have a couple of sponsors, too, that I always like to mention here. And tonight, I'm going to read one, and then David's going to read one off, read the other commercial off. I'll start. This is for Andrea Williams with Advocare. She's a great lady, great sponsor of ours. And I'll tell you her ad. It says, feeling tired, sluggish, or just worn down from the gloomy weather or back to school grind. It's time to get your energy and confidence back. Andrea Williams with Advocare helps people clean away those naggy mental cobwebs, lose weight, boost energy with Spark, and feel incredible again. Visit healthyhabittribe.org. That's healthyhabittribe, all one word, .org. Or reach out to Andrea Williams on Facebook and start feeling amazing today. And I have to say, I have Spark. She gave me some samples. I like it. Trent's used it. It's a great product. It doesn't make you feel like Monster Energy drink does or some of those other ones. Although Monster's good too. But
I don't drink.
Andrea, thanks so much for being a sponsor for our show. And David, you have one for Becky.
I do. I have one for Becky Home Insurance. It's that, and so I'll go ahead and read that. It's that time of year again. I'm not talking hunting season, which I am the co-chair of the Sportsman's Cup.
This is true.
I'm talking annual enrollment for Medicare and Marketplace. To find out what Medicare just did to you, give my friend Becky Holm a call. She will take the time to explain your choices and help you come to a decision that's right for you and your family. Plans change, doctors change, and plans they accept or your medication list may have changed. Regardless of the changes, Becky is here to guide you through it. She's licensed in several states and based right here in Roseburg, Oregon. Call Becky Home, 541-900-6001. That's Becky Home at 541-900-6001.
Good job. I think.
Man.
How are you?
Man.
Oh, I'll take that so I don't lose it.
Yeah.
And just a note with Becky. Becky's part of the Roseburg Optimist Club.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it does fantastic work there too. They support our local police. I attend their dinner they do once a year, the Respect the Law.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Well, it's an awesome dinner that they do with the Optimists and the Respect the Law.
It is. I hope to get to speak again. They had me speak once, but I don't know if they like what I had to say. So I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. So I want to also recognize Scott Kaiser's on here tonight. Scott's been on our show before. He's the mayor of gosh darn it,
Molalla.
Yeah. And he just said, "Good evening, gentlemen. Great day to be a Republican." Amen to that, Scott. And he just got done picking up full referendum sheets for the governor's Christmas present. And I hope that we get to present that to the governor. That would be cool. David has a good relationship with the governor, right? We like to give her a bad time.
The Governor Kotek and I get along until we don't, and then we don't. Then we get along again until we don't. We've known each other for a number of years. I think she's still mad at me for having the longest floor speech in her tenure as the Speaker of the House when I was fighting cap and trade back in the day. But
yeah. Well, and cap and trade's coming back around too. We'll probably talk about that here toward the end. So just to kind of summarize where we're at with the referendum. So we are about halfway to our goal, and we need to keep the pressure up to get to that goal. Trent is on with us tonight. He's the chair of the local Central Committee for Republican Party. and he is available. As you can always stop by the Republican office. I don't know what are the hours down there right now, Trent?
Just a minute. I will look that up. I know that I think it's every day from noon till 5 or 6, but every day this week, someone will be manning the office for the week.
Okay, for signing the referendum. There's also,
Yep.
I know Bob Murray has referendum sheets out, I
Yep.
think, at his shop on Diamond Lake Boulevard.
Yeah.
I know that Myrtle Creek has some locations, and we've been posting those locations as they come up, and we're going to continue to do that. Representative Deal, who I was kind of hoping we'd catch tonight, but he's tied up evidently. He's available as well. So I'm always available if you need. I can't always answer every single call and every single message, but I try. So if you just have to sign it and you can't find any place to sign it, get a hold of one of us, myself as well. I see Aldine Boyce says 10 to 6 is the hours. Trent.
Okay. Thanks, Aldine. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, by the way, if you can't, there's a way to go online and
Yes.
do a single petition and mail it back. And you go to notaxor.com.
Right. So, and Scott Kaiser just brought up something. He says referendum is all gas, no brakes, best group of volunteers ever. He's not wrong. This is anything I've ever seen. There's been recalls attempted. There's been all kinds of stuff. This was organized. Of course, Representative Deal, we got to give credit to him, and also the the Oregon Freedom Coalition. We, as a group and as individually, he put this thing together, and we have team captains, and I don't remember the number now. I think it's 2,000 captains out there, and like 5,000 people that are actually collecting signatures that are actually based. Now, to get signature sheets to be able to collect the signatures, you have to go through one of the captains. That way, it's very organized.
Well, and you have to, because that individual, according to law, has to witness every single signature.
Right.
And we do not want the Democrats to be able to have any monkey business when it comes to not accepting these sheets.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. It's been an amazing effort. Senator Starr, Representative Deal, Nick. I mean,
yeah.
So we had our first meeting while we were still here for the session.
Yeah.
Knowing that they were gonna move. I mean, that's when we started meeting every week. We've met at 2:00 on Monday, but Representative Deal, Jason Williams with the Taxpayers Association, Oregon Catalyst, just an amazing effort. And then Jody Fleck.
Yeah.
And everything Jody she has really been coordinating all 5,000 of those folks and the 2,000 and the captains across the state. Just amazing work from everyone coming together, and we're just grateful.
So I think the most important part about this is I believe we will get to our goal, and we're going to continue to we're going to blow through that goal. We have to get at least 100,000 signatures, and I would say we should get 300,000 signatures. But I think more importantly, what we've created here, and particularly Representative Deal and his group of people and Senator Starr, we've created a way to make a difference when our voices are not necessarily heard, when it comes up against something that we can actually put a referendum together on and or get somebody elected, governor, right? We have a grassroots chain now that I think we will continue to keep that. I will continue to keep moving forward with it on other issues. And I think that the governor has to pay attention to it because our Constitution says it does. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I also believe that this, Trent, I think I heard you say you signed up 6 Democrats to switch party over to Republican or something like that this weekend.
Yeah. Sean, our vice chair, was telling me that over, I think it was just on Saturday or maybe Saturday and Sunday. I'm not sure that he just did that today. And I've heard that from all over. I've got some friends up north that are working, and they're asking, but it's not anything that we're doing. All we're doing is bringing the referendum to the table, and people are coming in and signing, and the conversation comes up. Well, we're done. How do we go a different direction? How do we change parties? And it just became a kind of a benefit of it.
And thank you, Scott. You're right. There's 68 captains statewide, some county captains, some city captains, and then Yeah, and there was 5,000 people that signed up on the volunteer at notaxor.com.
Yeah.
Now you can find the locations. Just go to location, go to Douglas County. There's be 13 locations as of this weekend.
My mother, and I'll be pushing out the information on Facebook probably Thursday. My mother is the captain for Port Orford, and she's got she's going to be doing it at the senior center there in Port Orford on Saturday, which is great. I want to say there's 5 or 6 locations in Curry County alone. I know there's a number of locations in Coos, and of course the 13 in Douglas. So it's Scott, you're right. It's full steam ahead. No, we're not putting the brakes on this thing. Let's get 250, 300,000 signatures by the deadline in December, so that we can show these Democrat majority that they messed up. Because I'm here to tell you,
Right.
They were told when those swings voted for this, those Democrats that voted for this were told, don't worry, you're not going to have to deal with it. They'll never be able to do this.
Well, and Governor Kotek tried her best to keep us from being able to do it.
Yes, she did, by delaying.
She sat on the thing for what, 45 days, I think, before the signing. 40 days, 45.
I don't remember but she did not sign it until a week ago, last Friday.
Yeah.
But then we got rumor that she did.
Yeah, she
And
didn't
so
tell anybody.
Leader Starr called and she didn't answer or respond.
Yeah.
And then her statement went out Monday. And of course, then Veterans Day was Tuesday. But I will say that the staff at the Secretary of State's office did an exceptional job. We're very professional. Because there is a process that when you put these things in, they got everything done and to where you had petition sheets ready, even with Tuesday being down Thursday.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome that we're able to move at the speed we moved at. And I agree, Aldine, we're proving them wrong. Damn right. We're going to continue to do that. So with that, I'm going to segue into my next thing I want to talk about, and that's Ledge Days. So we are in Salem this week, and what legislative days really are, it's a time when the legislators all come back together and we have informational meetings from people that want to eventually present bills, or maybe state agencies that want to talk about directions that they're, strategies of what they're going to do. It's an interesting time. We're not voting on anything, but it's kind of a sneak peek of what we're going to see in the short session.
And then this legislative days, our deadline to file our 2 pieces of legislation is this Friday. So each senator and representative gets 2 pieces of legislation, and I think committees get 3.
I'm not sure about the committees.
3 or 5.
Yeah.
3 pieces of legislation for committee bills. And to be prepared for the short session that starts February 2nd.
Right. And short session lasts 5 weeks.
35 days.
Yeah, 35 days. For those who are not aware. And again, this podcast is to help everybody understand, right? I mean, what it is. So, feel free to ask questions. I mean, we're looking at the comments and I'm not seeing a lot of questions. I did see, I'm sorry, Troy, before I move on, Troy had made a comment about ODF pricing increases. I've seen that. David's been more actively involved with ODF than myself. I don't know why they're doing it. I know they're changing some of their units as well, their hunting units, which I'm still not exactly sure why. I did ask the question. I never got a real answer on why that's happening. Maybe law enforcement. I don't know. Something about the migration patterns of the deer in Eastern Oregon. So, who knows?
Well, you'd have more of them if we were able to take care of the predation issues from cougar in the state.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
And wolves.
And
wolves.
And wolves.
And bears.
And
yeah.
ODF is doing pricing increases, but you're going to see it's it's the 4th branch of government, where technically it's
the agency.
I mean, we have more Oregon or OARs, Oregon Administrative Rules, than we do ORSs, Oregon Revised Statutes. Agencies make OARs, legislators make ORSs. And so essentially agencies make rules and create law, such as the ability to increase fees across the board. The budget has doubled in 12 years in Oregon, and a lot of that are fee increases, not tax increases, so to speak, that came through the legislative process, which is, again, one of the reasons why the governor election is a critical election in this state. Because if you think of the there's over 1,200 appointments to boards and commissions, 1,500 in this state. But the governor also appoints the majority of the directors of state agencies, and everything starts with at the top of those agencies. And so if you want real change, we all need to get behind our candidate that gets through, and we all have our own opinions on this, but that gets through the primary election.
Yeah.
That's going to take on Governor Kotek in November.
Yeah. I wish we had news on all the new candidates that are going to file, but we don't. It's pretty quiet right now.
There was 18 and 22 that filed, so
I think we're at 13 right now.
are we?
Yeah. I mean, there's some that are not very viable, and there's some that it's going to come down to name recognition. I think, is where it's going to be. But I'm sure we'll have many podcasts on that topic as we get into the campaign season, and we're pretty much into the campaign season for ourselves. So you're not up this year, but representatives are up every 2 years, and we're all pretty much starting to talk about it. Also, this year we have, in 26, our commissioners are all up for re-election as well. I support all of our commissioners. They've done amazing work in the county.
I'm here to tell you, I've been a commissioner. The Douglas County Commission is a model for the state in what they do for the people with the limited resources that they have, along with our elected sheriff and elected clerk and elected DA. I mean, you have individuals, and right now you got recalls happening in Josephine County for the commissioners. You got an attempted recall happen at Curry County for the commissioners. They couldn't collect the signatures. You got recalls happening in Lincoln County for commissioners. You got former Representative Jessica Vega Peterson, who's just an abomination when it comes to Multnomah County. You have a fantastic opportunity because you have fantastic commissioners in Douglas County with Commissioner Freeman, Commissioner Boyce, and Commissioner Kress. And I will look forward to seeing those commissioners on Thursday, actually, at the Association of Oregon Counties annual conference in Eugene, as I'm headed south.
For the beating those poor guys take. I mean, we take a heck of a beating at the state level.
We do.
But those guys take a beating every day, and I'm glad to call all three of them my friend.
Me too.
And I support them.
Well, and it's the unfunded mandates that the Democrat majority then, you have to, there is a list that is miles long of the shared services that are provided by counties to citizens that are state services that are pushed onto the counties.
Right.
And so, we battle for resources, and we say that there's no unfunded mandates, but there are every single time.
And a majority of them are. And then I hear things, and I know we're getting off into the weeds a little bit, but it's probably worth saying. I read some other stuff from some of the folks that are trying to run against commissioners, and I'm sure they'll someone run against us as well.
My goodness.
But they're talking about how they're going to solve the homeless problem in Douglas County.
Oh, of course.
It's like, well, the homeless problem was created by the state. It wasn't created by Douglas County.
Right to Rest created the homeless problem. You can't do that as a county commissioner.
So a county commissioner doesn't have it's not like somebody has this big bag of money and they can say, well, here, just throw this, that, and that'll solve it. Well, I've heard some of, I guess they're my critics too, but they say, well, we have plenty of funding to take care of all of these homeless people, put them in housing, and then they'll be, and give them food, and then they'll be productive members of the community.
Portland has spent $1.14 billion in the last Multnomah County, and on the homelessness, and they haven't solved the problem. No. They just have more of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you have people that run for commissioner that just tell people what they want to hear, thinking that. I mean, I've seen commissioner candidates say out there, well, we're just going to go ahead and cut the trees. Yeah. If we would have been able to do that, I would have done it when I was a commissioner.
That doesn't work that way.
I mean, now, mind you, I am on the CSU West, and we have a coalition, and we are working towards. You got Commissioner Freeman the chair and president of the Association of ONC Counties, and aligned with Clackamas County, and I'm going back to DC in January.
Well, it's just, I mean, the summary of this is that it's not an easy job.
No.
And I'm thankful that they do it. And, and neither our jobs are not easy either. I mean, but we have a whole different level of contact with the public on a regular basis as opposed to what they do. And, some of the emails we get are probably more brutal, but, and some of the messages, but, a lot of what we get, I think, is people just don't fundamentally understand what it is a state rep or a senator even does.
A lot of them, they think that I'm in DC with John and Jeff.
I get that all the time. Yeah. I'm like, well, I'm a state representative. I'm not a federal representative. But anyway, I do want to. We got about another 20 minutes here. I want to go on and see Scott. Take away giving, crap away from the homeless. Yeah, Scott, I totally agree with you. I think the recent election of Mandami, or whatever his name is in New York, you're going to find out that the mayor can't really do the stuff that he ran on. Right?
Oh my goodness, you got Seattle. You got a 43-year-old woman that just got elected mayor of Seattle that's going to mandate that a grocery store can't close.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I'm just like, what? These people are just insane.
That's and if it was the other way around, a Republican, they'd be the devil for trying.
Oh.
So yeah, it's bad. Anyway, I'm getting way into the partisan lines here, but there is some stuff that's happening in ledge days, and I sit on the Climate, Energy, and Environment Committee, and I've said this before, and I'll continue to say this. David actually is part of the you're the Natural Resources Committee, I think. In the Senate.
I'm the vice chair of the Energy and Environment Committee in the Senate.
Yeah. So we always argue and discuss and fight about taxes and everything else, but the reality of it is, and I truly believe this, the one thing in this state that is going to affect our state more than anything else in a bad way is climate justice movements and climate
Governor CPP,
climate protection program and climate legislation. And after listening yesterday on our committee, I wasn't wrong. They're talking about the 2050 plan, and by 2050, they're talking 80% of all of our power, all of our energy is going to have to be green energy. Now, again, that falls back into the House Bill 2021, I think it was, that initiated that. But they came in front of us in committee and they gave us some numbers and they talked about, how we're going to get there and all this and that. And, frankly, this country is set up to run for another 120 plus years on fossil fuel. But they want to take that away from you and they want to force you into solar and wind. And I questioned a lot of things, and one of the things I questioned with solar, wind, and even hydro was, what do you do when the wind's not blowing and when the sun's not shining?
Batteries.
Well, they didn't. It was like less than 5%.
I know. You see the little on the bar chart. It was like this.
You had to zoom in to see it.
Senator Golden, like, well, where's the battery?
Right. So our state has flawed itself by creating this pathway that does not take into consideration the fact you can't get there from here.
No. So the Oregon Energy Strategy was House Bill 3630 from the 2023 session that was put forward by Representative Marsh. And it was, of course. After 2021 was passed, which was set the Oregon the most ambitious carbon reduction goals of any state in the country. Because we just had to be first, according to it's this virtuistic BS rather than what's actually realistic, right? And so I always argued we needed the impacts and how you're going to get there study before you actually pass the legislation, because what's happening now is the strategy is gearing off of the legislation and it's unattainable.
It's unattainable.
Rather than actually having a true study to guide legislation on what we need. This is flawed. In fact, I wrote that I leaned over to my chair, Senator Solomon, today, and I'm like, did you see the unicorn too? Because I mean, that's literally what they're talking about, because it's unattainable.
It is unattainable, but the problem is we're moving that way anyway, and the feds are not paying for it anymore.
No, the subsidies are gone. And more importantly, and Justin's going to put a link in the chat here on a nonpartisan group of folks that put together Oregon and Washington, to achieve what the states of Oregon and Washington have passed policy-wise, what it would cost, and it's $1 trillion.
Yeah, which
it is insane.
Yeah,
and so this virtuistic stuff that they want us to do by I think it's actually 2040 or 2035.
Well, the chart was through 2050, but
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, I think you're right. It's 2035.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and here's the other issue. And Virgil, of course, I'm so grateful that he's on the House Climate and Energy Committee. And of course, I was on that committee. I was the vice chair of that committee when I was in the House before coming to the Senate. But you're in a situation where they don't have the transmission.
Well, we talked about that. Yeah.
They don't have the transmission, and there's no way to deal with load, right? I mean, as the representative said, the wind doesn't always blow and the sun doesn't always shine. But when you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and everybody turns on their electric hot water heater and their electric coffee pot and their electric toaster oven or their electric oven, you need that energy now. And one of the problems is why that energy is more expensive is because they're restricting and making it more costly for natural gas and so forth to generate that energy when you're dealing with load.
Yeah.
And so as we expand and want to grow as a community and grow our communities, we need more of the energy, but yet the supermajority of Democrats are pushing everybody in electric vehicles, which need more energy. They're pushing everyone into out of natural gas heat, out of natural gas hot water heaters, which create more load and more energy. But yet they're penalizing the very producers that have the ability to generate it, and they don't have the battery storage to do it.
And one thing that riles me up every time I hear about it, and they talked about it again in our meeting, was the transmission authority. So in 23, I think it was, or it might have been the short session, might have been the long session of 20, the one we just went through. There was talk of a transmission authority, and what a transmission authority is a committee, organization, whatever, put together by stakeholders that decide where to put transmission lines, and they do not have to worry about whose property they cross. No, it establishes eminent domain for the state. And I told them, and I am so against this. I mean, this is, that's taking your property away from you, or your property rights for sure. And this is a direction, I have people all the time, well, my vote don't count. Your vote counts. And not only does your vote count, you better start voting, because if we continue down this path, this is what we're going to get. Now, ultimately, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I do believe the state's plan, and I don't know that it's a written plan, but I believe that an undertones plan is that the state will take over all the utilities. I think the state, Pacific Corps is already talking about bankruptcy. I think our state wants to manage and handle all power, electric, gas related issues in the state. And at some point, if the state owns the utilities, they will decide the rates. And not only will they decide the rates, the folks that can't afford it, which is the ones they're stepping on now, that'll be okay because they won't have to pay the bill. Everybody else will be responsible to pay for that bill. So that's called socialism, and I think that's the way we're headed. I do want to address Natasha asked about if the plan, the Oregon Department of Energy plan, was to take out dams. They are certainly continuing to focus on that, yes. Where I live, the 80% of our electricity in my area coming through Douglas Electric is Snake River Dam and Bonneville Power System. So if they take those dams out, then to stay in business, those companies are going to be forced to go through a roundabout way to get to green energy, which is generally Wyoming or Montana or somewhere else. And on top of that, I know that everybody's kind of upset, or not everybody's upset, but I don't know that people are paying attention to the fact that they've installed meters in homes now. They don't have to go out to your house and read your meter. It's automatically happens from a central command area control. The point with that is that you're going to eventually start paying more when you use your energy during the peak hours. So on a hot day, if you've got your air conditioning running in the middle of the day on a hot day, you're going to pay more for that electricity than you would pay if you ran your air conditioning at night, so to speak, when the demand on the load is lower. I get why they would do that, but I just absolutely disagree with it. I mean, it's so against every grain of my body.
Well, and the other thing that we discussed today in Senate Energy and Environment was it's critically important that we protect the electric cooperatives
Yeah.
with regards to liability and
Yes.
wildfire, because you have 82% of the acres burned on average or burned on federal landscape, and of the 18% of fires or acres that are burned on the private landscape, 15% of those acres are burned because fires come off of federal land to private land, and of the 3% of acres that are burned on fires that start on federal land or private land and burn on federal land, 98% of those are kept to less than 100 acres because they're managed resource. And so you can't be penalizing our co-ops,
Right.
and frankly, the members, our residents, because of all of us, right?
Yeah.
That because the federal government is not managing that. But again, Commissioners Boyce and Kress and Freeman and myself and Representative Osborne and Representative Boyce are working on that issue on the federal level, and I think you're going to see some serious changes over the next year and a half with the federal administration on that management strategy. And so, because we can't, I mean, you might remember I had Senate Bill 926 this last session that really went after the investor-owned utilities, so Pacificor, PGE.
Yeah, you made a lot of friends.
No, I did not.
No, you did not. but it was a just battle.
Oh, it was.
So Katie, you're right. My power bill's doubled. You know, I used to pay $150 a month. I'm paying over 300, close to 300 a month now. And that all happened in the last year or so. And I brought that up in committee. You know, I didn't video everything I said in committee, but just understand, I want everybody to know and when we're in committee and we have the opportunity to fire questions at agencies, we do.
Yeah.
They have to earn it, and we make them earn it. I want to read something real quick. And the pillars of Oregon Department of Energy, ODE, some of their pillars, and I won't go through all of them, but pillar number 4, promote holistic workforce development in environmental justice community.
Yep. That's
their pillar of their agency. Pillar number 5, develop partnerships and resources in environmental justice communities. Number 6, consider the effects of the energy policies on natural and working lands, cultural resources, and broader environment. What the last thing was. Let's see, number 3, invest in long-term incentive programs for environmental justice community. They are highly focused on every single thing except the people of Oregon.
Well, and affordability. Where is the affordability?
It's not one word about affordability.
Right.
Or, I mean, now we do have the Public Utility Commission that is supposed to be the checks and balances for affordability. Of course, not always the case.
Right.
Well, you can come over and say hi.
Don't think we're not going to introduce you.
Come on, get over
so
there.
We just had a guest walk in here. Oh my goodness,
we got the House Republican Deputy Leader.
Yes, this is our Deputy Leader here.
You got the House Republican Whip, the House Republican Deputy Leader, and the Senate Republican Deputy Leader, all representing Douglas County.
Yeah, Douglas County's voice is definitely being heard in the House and the Senate.
Oh yeah.
So I understand back when let's see.
It's like standing room only here on the Virg podcast.
I know, right?
I'll take a knee.
What do you got for us today?
Oh, well, shoot. Yeah, the committees were terrible. All the departments are looking at, they're cutting only the things that actually matter and no overhead, no DEI. The budget cut process is hilarious. They literally just try to make the voters feel pain so that no one wants to cut government anymore. When, again, there's plenty of overhead and just absolute waste and abuse that we could be cutting and should be cutting. So anyway,
again, your vote matters.
It does.
Well, I really think that they're going to, that this is just the beginning of the exercise, so that then they can come back and say, well, so Greg, what do you want? And then try to pick off individuals. I'm hopeful that doesn't happen because they do want to disconnect. I mean, this exercise is because HR 1 federally, and you can speak probably better than I can.
Big beautiful bill. Yep.
Has deductions for a number of things for businesses and industry that are meant to drive jobs in our economy. And there's things in there that allows you to deduct the interest off your car loan, right? There's things in there.
It would save like the average Oregonian, I think, around $4,000 a year.
Well,
and they would
also,
rather have that money in taxes coming to the
Right.
state government.
Yeah.
no tax on tips.
Mhm.
They want to take that away from us.
Overtime,
Overtime,
which
no
is
tax on
capped,
overtime.
right? I mean, it's capped at what, 20,000 or something? I mean,
I think it is, yeah, 20 hours.
And it's all taxes that working class people pay.
but as these conversations move forward, remember that the $888 million that the Democrats say is a shortfall is technically money that the Republicans in Congress want to put in your pocket.
Very true. So remember that when you vote.
And we will have the, I mean, there was we can't, it's embargoed, but we will have the revenue forecast in the morning.
Yeah.
So you'll get a glimpse of the disastrous policies from the Democrat majority party in this state and the governor Kotek in their continued push to have people and businesses close. And I mean, look at Rogue Brewery,
Yep.
Yeah.
all locations statewide, right?
Yeah. Well, listen, we're coming down to our last 5 minutes, and I always like to. First off, Trent, you've been quiet for a little while. Got to give you a chance to say something. Why don't you go first?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you guys for working up there and doing what you do. We really down here really appreciate it. And just my message out to everybody that's listening: don't forget what's going on right now in Oregon this time next year when it comes to vote, because the Democrats are going to try to make you forget.
Oh yeah.
Okay, they're going to try that. Don't forget. Let's put a Republican in the governor's seat. Let's take the majority in the House and the Senate. Let's do what they say that we can't do, and it's there to be done.
I just got done with a dinner with a friend of mine, my old legislative assistant, Michael, who is working on a bunch of ballot measures actually in the Portland area. And that on top of the ballot measure that we have going on to repeal the transportation tax, that's going to drive a lot of turnout for us.
Yeah.
A lot of people, including myself, are a little worried about this upcoming election cycle. This is the first midterm after a new president, but we're going to have so many friendly ballot measures. They're going to be driving turnout in our favor. I mean, the more ballot measures we can get on, the better. And we just need to make sure we all turn out and vote like it's a presidential year. And I know we say that every time, but we actually have
This time we mean it.
tangible reasons for you to turn out in the form of these ballot measures.
Is he working on the 60 series?
He's working on like 11 of them.
Yeah.
So it's all that one big donor and their group in Portland that are doing it. So it's a lot is going to be going our way this cycle. So we just need to make sure we turn out and make it happen. This really could be our year. Drazen's obviously running for governor. She needs all of our help. We need your help in the House and the Senate to get some people elected so we can at least get out of the super minority and hopefully do better than that.
Amen. David?
No, I just want to thank all of you for the privilege and honor to serve you in the Oregon State Senate, and just let you know what a privilege and honor it is to work with these two gentlemen in the legislature. They do a fantastic job, and it's really a team sport. And I just really appreciate it. I have their back, they have my back. We're able to communicate and work across the chambers to let everybody know what's going on. So grateful for the privilege to do so. Thank you.
Amen to that. And Katie, real quick, I see you're right. We need to get more registered, more people registered to vote. We need to get more registered voters to vote as well.
And that's something we could be doing right now. You don't have to wait for election cycle to do that.
Yeah,
So absolutely.
That's
No, what you meant is Trent, Sean, Vice Chair, registered because of the referral.
Yeah.
Six switched over 6 Democrats to
good
Republicans
this weekend. Yeah. So I want to close with a couple things too. I have my campaign kickoff coming up on January 17th. It's at the Lang Center in is that right? January 17th.
When were you going to invite me?
Yes.
You're invited.
Okay.
At the Lang Center UCC. I just slipped my mind because I got something going on the 10th too. But I want to invite everybody to show up. It is going to be a hosted bar. We'll have beer, wine, and cider, and we'll also have food as well, hosted by the Adam Cafe and Glide. They'll be doing the catering for it. We will have representative and our leader of our house, Lucetta Elmer, will be giving a speech there, and Senator Brock Smith will also be speaking as well. And we will have, I've heard today, we'll have Brad Odell, probably our next sheriff. He will actually be there as well. And he and I work together in search and rescue missions often. So
Deputy Leader Scarlatos will consider it.
yeah, exactly. Consider your invite. So we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk a little politics. We're gonna talk about the future and talk about some of the plans. And I'm just looking forward to it. Trent, you'll be there too. We'll probably
Yes,
stick a
sir.
microphone in your hand,
Yes,
and
sir.
hopefully we can get a big turnout.
And I think the 17th is after Ledge Days in January, so we'll kind of have a better lay of the land of what to expect in the short session that starts on February 2nd.
Yeah. So consider that an open invite to everybody that would like to come and support our campaigns. Now, again, my campaign, as well as all of us, our goal is to get Republicans elected. So, we raise money and we also share money with other Republicans that need the money and the help to get elected and time, as well as, heck, we're not above going door to door, if we need to. So hang in there with us. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wish everybody a great night. And thank you for tuning in. Trent, thanks for joining us. Justin, thanks for putting this on. And again, please support our sponsors. Our sponsors are myself, my Twin Peaks Off-Road Company, Andrea Williams, Avocare, Becky Home Insurance, and of course, Little Mo Media as well. So thank you guys all for staying with us. Please follow us, and we're on 13 different platforms, so you can find us pretty easy. Again, that's On the Verge, your conservative voice of Southern Oregon. Thank you all, and have a great night.
Thank you.
Is your 4x4 ready for the trail? Twin Peaks Off-Road is your first stop for maintenance, repairs, and custom upgrades. From differential services to winch installs, we do it all. Fast, reliable, and built for adventure. Don't wait for breakdowns in the backcountry. Call Twin Peaks Off-Road today at 541-900-0015 or visit twinpeaksoffroad.net. Keep your 4x4 off the roads and in the adventure.